Somewhere in the shadows of history, there's a rumor that the world's most dangerous secrets don't sit in vaults or data centers. They live inside the heads of 9 unknown men, a hidden council in India chosen to guard forbidden knowledge for over 2,000 years. 9 scholars, chosen by an emperor, each holding a book so powerful it could collapse economies, start wars, or rewrite the laws of physics as we know them. And according to legend, they're still among us. Today we travel to ancient India, into the blood-soaked aftermath of a war that changed an emperor's heart and maybe the future of humanity. This is the story of the 9 unknown men. Welcome to Secret Society's Hidden Orders and Power, where we dive into the groups that supposedly pull strings from the shadows, some real, some legendary, all fascinating. Where did the legend of the 9 unknown men actually begin? What terrifying knowledge were they said to protect? And is there any evidence they still influence our world today? Or are they just the smartest conspiracy theory ever invented? Quick note: this story sits at the edge of history and myth. We'll separate what's recorded, what's rumored, and what's pure speculation, so you can decide what you believe. Our story starts with a king who saw too much death. Around the 3rd century BCE, India was ruled by Emperor Ashoka of the Maurya dynasty, one of the most powerful rulers in Indian history. He controlled an empire stretching across most of the subcontinent, but his turning point came with a brutal conflict, the Kalinga War. Some accounts describe over 100,000 dead, countless more deported or wounded. The land was drenched in blood, and Ashoka was victorious. And yet, victory tasted like ash. According to inscriptions attributed to Ashoka, he was deeply disturbed by the suffering he had caused. He embraced Buddhist principles, non-violence, compassion, moral rule. He began issuing edicts about ethics, tolerance, and peace. But one later legend claims Ashoka did something else, something never carved into stone. Realizing how easily knowledge could be twisted into mass destruction, he allegedly formed a secret council, 9 men, each one a master of a specific field, given the task of gathering, guarding, and updating forbidden knowledge. Knowledge too dangerous for ordinary people, and too valuable to ever be lost. These were the 9 unknown men, the guardians of humanity's most explosive secrets. So, what exactly were these men guarding? Different authors and storytellers give slightly different lists, but most versions agree. Each of the 9 was responsible for a book of knowledge, not just a literal book, but a living body of secrets, updated across centuries. Let's walk through the 9 domains they were said to protect, and imagine what they'd look like in our world. The first book allegedly dealt with propaganda and psychological warfare, how to influence crowds, manipulate beliefs, and control societies without people ever realizing. Think about it. If you mastered human behavior, you wouldn't need armies. You'd just steer opinions, emotions, and fears. The second book, much darker. It supposedly contained knowledge of biology and bioweapons, how to cause disease, interfere with life processes, maybe even create targeted plagues. According to legend, this knowledge was so dangerous, it was never allowed to fall into the hands of conquerors or warlords. The 9 were meant to prevent mass biological warfare, by making sure only they understood it. If that sounds bleak, the third book allegedly balanced it. Microbiology and immunity. How to protect life, counter diseases, and possibly extend longevity. Some modern writers love to link this to unexplained medical breakthroughs, or healers who seemed centuries ahead of their time. There's no solid proof, but it keeps the myth alive. The fourth book often gets framed as alchemy and advanced materials, not just turning lead into gold, but understanding matter so deeply you could create new substances, incredible alloys, or energy sources. In a modern context, imagine secrets of nuclear physics or advanced nanotechnology, hidden centuries before we think they were discovered. Book 5, Communication. Not just languages, but how to communicate instantly across vast distances. Some stories even mention telepathy or methods that sound suspiciously like early concepts of wireless communication. It's easy to see why conspiracy fans love this part. When you look at how fast our communication tech exploded in the last century, it's tempting to ask, did someone already know more than they let on? Then there's Book 6, Gravitation. Legends say this is where knowledge of flight and perhaps even anti-gravity was stored. Enthusiasts connect this to old Indian texts that describe flying machines, or vimanas, and wonder if the 9 were the ones who truly understood the physics behind them. Book 7 is tied to cosmology and light understanding the fabric of the universe itself, from stars to energy fields. Imagine having a map of reality centuries before telescopes, quantum physics, or relativity, and keeping it locked away. The 8th book supposedly examined sociology, the rise and fall of civilizations, how societies function, how they can be steered or destabilized. If you knew the patterns of history, you might predict revolutions before they happen, or stop them, or quietly start them. And the 9th, think of it as the master key synthesis of all the others, the big picture. How psychology, biology, technology, and society all connect. If the legend is true, the 9 didn't just guard random secrets. They held a complete system for shaping the future of humanity. From the shadows. If you like what you have seen, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Sounds like a great story so far. But here's the real question. Do the 9 unknown men actually show up in history? The earliest solid written references to them don't come from Ashoka's time. Instead, they appear much later in 20th century books and articles, especially in the works of writers like Talbot Mundy, who turned the 9 into mysterious characters in adventure novels. Later, other authors repeated and expanded the story, mixing in real history, pseudo-history, and wild speculation. But that hasn't stopped people from connecting the 9 to real-world events. Some claim that certain scientific leaps in medicine, physics, or communications might trace back to knowledge guarded and slowly released by the 9. Others point to scholars who traveled to India, supposedly returning with forbidden knowledge, from medieval church figures to early scientists. In India itself, legends about lost libraries, mysterious gurus, and secret manuscripts get folded into the story and retold as proof. Here's the catch. When historians go looking for hard evidence, original Ashokan edicts mentioning the 9, official records of such a council, they don't find anything solid. The 9 unknown men live mostly in the space between myth, fiction, and conspiracy theory. So if the evidence is thin, why does the story of the 9 unknown men refuse to die? Because it taps into 3 powerful ideas we're obsessed with. First, the belief that knowledge is being hidden from us. Whenever we see sudden breakthroughs in technology, secretive labs, or classified military projects, it's easy to imagine there's a group somewhere deciding what we're ready to know. Second, the fear of weaponized information. In a world of deepfakes, psyops, bioweapons, and algorithms shaping our attention, the idea that someone has mastered these tools for centuries feels disturbingly plausible. Third, the hope that somewhere, someone is actually responsible. That there's a council of wise people trying to prevent the worst outcomes: pandemics, global wars, societal collapse, by carefully controlling how dangerous knowledge spreads. The 9 unknown men are, in a way, the ultimate wishful fantasy. A secret society that doesn't just seek power, but claims to protect us from ourselves. Think about how different this legend is from the usual secret society suspects. The Illuminati are portrayed as puppet masters chasing total control. The Freemasons are tied to hidden symbols, political influence, and elite networks. The Knights Templar are rumored to have guarded religious secrets and vast treasure. But the 9 unknown men, they're framed less like a cult and more like a shadow government of scientists and philosophers. That's what makes them so compelling in the 21st century. We already live in a world where a small group of people, tech leaders, scientists, policymakers, can make decisions that affect billions. The 9 unknown men are like a mythic version of that idea, a tiny circle controlling the most dangerous knowledge, deciding when or if the rest of us ever get to see it. So, let's come back to the question we started with. What if the 9 unknown men are real? What if, right now, 9 people or 9 groups, hold the keys to technologies that could end hunger or end civilization? What if the reason we haven't seen certain weapons or certain breakthroughs is because someone chose to bury them for our own good? Or what if the 9 are simply a mirror we hold up to ourselves? A story we tell because deep down, we know that knowledge is power, and we're scared of what happens when that power spreads faster than our wisdom. If this journey into India's secret council of hidden knowledge got you thinking, hit like, drop a comment with what you believe about the 9 unknown men, and share this video with a friend who loves mysteries. And of course, subscribe to Chronicle Crafter so you don't miss the next story hiding in the shadows.